Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm.
All right, on today's show, we're going to be talking about why your products fail on Amazon and steps that you can take to make sure that doesn't happen again. Our guest is the founder of My Amazon Guy. He has over 80 employees working in his agency, and he focuses on growing traffic, sales on Amazon. He also has over 750 tutorials on YouTube. I had no idea he had that many. I knew he had a lot, but 750. And he's also got his own podcast. So he is a returning guest, Stephen Pope. So I know he's just going to drop a lot of knowledge for us. But before we get to that, I just wanted to give a big thank you to our sponsor for this episode, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. For more information, contact Chris and his team over at globalwiredadvisors.com. All right, where is the boy of the hour?
Hello.
There you are.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Hey,
Yeah.
I saw something yesterday.
Did you? I think I know what you saw.
I saw a podcast.
That's right. I am now running the podcast game. No, but yes, Tony Segar, he invited me onto his podcast, Tony's Fireside Chat. And I'll put the link if you guys want to check it out. But thank you guys so much for the support. People have been messaging me on Facebook, and it was an honor, Tony. So I know he is a Beard Nation member here. So yeah, thank you for having me on. I'll make sure I plug it here.
Man, you're taking the rounds. You got AM PM podcast. You got Tony's. Man, you're going to take over.
Yeah.
Hey, that way you could maybe you could just take the whole thing over, take the whole business over, Kelsey, and then you can just pay your old man something so he could retire.
Yeah, we could talk about that. We'll have a little meeting.
All right,
but
very good.
Welcome everyone. Smash those like buttons if you haven't already. Also share this video out to anyone you think could use a little help with their Amazon and e-commerce business. If you haven't joined our Beard Nation community yet, go over to our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA and e-commerce collective. That's where our main community is. That's completely free. We throw in as much content as we can over there, and just try to get to know you guys as our community is growing. And also, if you miss an episode, if you just catch the tail ends, you can always go over to our YouTube page, Norman Farrar. But if you search up Lunch with Norm, you'll be able to find it. And last but not least, if you're looking for more, if you want more beard, more of that luscious beard, if you want to have Q&A sessions with me and Norm, if you want guest lessons, we've had Michael Kurtz, Afalabi, Ben Leonard on. If you want those small group sessions, go over to our Lunch with Norm website and click on the membership area, and we have a paid program there if you're interested. But no pressure at all. We've got our free group, which is great.
Yeah, and it's not a podcast. What we do in those it's specific training, right?
Yeah, not a podcast. This is actual training that we do.
Yeah. All right, and we also have a real special giveaway today from Rad, and I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about that. We might as well talk about that right now.
Okay, yeah. So Rad reached out to me the other day, and he wants to do a special giveaway in memory of his late daughter, Sri Ranjani. So Rad and his family would like to give the gift of solar and give away 2 solar motion butterfly lights. And that's going to be #gift of solar, and that's US, Canada only. I'll put the information in the comment section as well. And we also have a giveaway from Steven too. So stay tuned to find out more information about that as well. But we can jump right into the podcast now.
Very good. All right. So sit back, relax, grab that cup of coffee, and enjoy the episode. Where are you, Mr. Pope?
Hey, Norm. Thanks for having me back on your podcast. It's good to be here.
Oh, hey, no problem. Hey, what are you doing sending your dad out to Prosper?
Well, so I have been in my basement for 3 years. I haven't really left it. Might be a little bit of on the introverted side. And then like in the course of 48 hours, 6 people asked me if I was going to be at Prosper, and I'm like, frick, everybody must be going this year. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll send my dad. My dad lives in Utah, so I had him drive down and he hung out. So we're glad we made an appearance there, but I think I regret not going myself. I think everybody and their dogs was there.
I wonder if you went to any of the after parties.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, he met a couple of my clients and everything. So, yeah. So I definitely going to make it next year. That's for sure. The thing is that, you know, I really probably ought to get out and shake some more hands. But when you run a 160 account agency, you're just constantly just managing people and clients and trying to get things done. And so it's like I haven't had to go out and grow it too much. Just had to make sure I hold on tight when we're jet skiing on the lake of Amazon, I guess, as it were.
I just let Kelsey handle the accounts, and I just do nothing.
Something like that, right?
There you go.
So I don't know, for those that follow Traction or EOS, I am in both the visionary and the integrator role. I have yet to find an official integrator. So until that happens, I've got my plate full.
I forgot I was on mute. There we go. See, if you don't know, I've got this bit of a cough. I think it's a little bit of asthma going on here. And I was telling Steven just before the show that I've got a secret cough drop and it's not working. You know, it's in my mouth. I'm trying to talk with it and it's not working, Steven. But what, you're going to give me some words of wisdom.
I don't know, some honey and some noodle soup, chicken noodle soup.
Maybe that'll work.
Or take 10 supplements, one of those two.
We just talked about that. All right, let's get into the topic today, which I think is really great. And, you know, why products fail and what you can do to improve them the next time. So that's the first. Let's talk about that first. Why do products fail?
I think products fail for a variety of reasons, but the biggest one is that they were dead on arrival because they weren't well selected to begin with. And so I'm gonna first admit to the audience here, I think Norm is the sourcing master, right? Like there is no way that I could even give you a tenth of the knowledge on sourcing that Norm could. So I'm gonna sidestep sourcing. Norm, you can speak about that if you want. I'm gonna just simply talk about selecting a product that you understand. So what do I mean by this? If I was gonna sell a toothbrush, and I told you that my target audience was anybody with teeth, I'm screwed, like from the start, especially if I'm not a dentist or a hygienist with massive amounts of knowledge on how teeth and toothbrushes work. Now, when I was in high school and college, I was on the national circuit for chess. So I've played in all kinds of chess tournaments. If I was going to go launch a new chess set right now, I would be able to tell you literally everything there is about a chess set and what's needed about it, how it needs to roll up properly, and the algebraic notation and the sizing and the weighting of the pieces, right? I could go super deep, a mile deep and an inch wide on chess sets. And my target audience would probably be kids in junior high and high school or their parents trying to get them to elevate their individual, competition spirit, right? So the point of that narrative is that you've got to launch a product that you understand. So take a guy like Mina, who we were talking about Mina and how he's in the hospital right now. Bless your heart, Mina. Hope you get well. And so that dude, he's been on my podcast as well. That dude knows more about the chemistry behind supplements than anybody I know. And so when he goes to market and launches a product, he understands it better than anybody ever, right? So it's really critical that you launch products that you understand. A lot of people have taken the route of going through Helium-10 and Jungle Scout and all these data centers of knowledge. Those things are great. I love tools. But if you don't start with what you understand before you go to the tool, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Case example, a couple of years ago, it was fidget spinners. Everybody saw the data. There was massive demand. Well, that was short-lived, of course, and everybody lost their boat on that. And then right now, what is it? The little poppers that are going crazy? Like that's going to be another fidget spinner item. So instead, going for something that you truly know and understand. If you're a chef and you understand the 8-inch knife better than anybody else, you should be launching chef knives and building a community around those items. So I spent a lot of time kind of setting up the inherency behind selection, because I think it's really the easiest one to get right, but frequently is the most common one gotten wrong.
All right. So different people have different ways to create product opportunity. I think Bradley Sutton's going to be on here. He's going to be talking about that. I think it's next week. Tim Jordan, my partner over at Private Label Legion, he's got like the Project X thing going on, and he has a whole different way of creating product opportunity. So you just kind of went through it, and you're talking about do something that you know. But at that point, so I know cigars, so cigar accessories, right? But what point or how do you take it from knowing chess to the chess accessories or improving on it? Like what is your selection process for that?
So after you've taken the items and understand them, then you go look at the data to back up what's important. So, I was doing a coaching call the other day, and we were looking at some of the items on the account. One item just launched the other day and is already the best seller in its category. Another item that they have on the account, like the average BSR ranking was 100,000 on all of the competitors, right? So if I was going to look at these two items and say, okay, you understand the space, you understand the items, but which of these two should we be working on more? Well, obviously the one that's in demand, right? So you could look at the demand scores of these general tools, again, Helium 10, Jungle Scout, whatever, and see that, okay, I understand this item and the data supports me doing it. Case in point. So I launched an item under my brand called Age of Sage. And this item, with one product review, I launched it 3 weeks before Mother's Day. And I generated $135,000 in those 3 weeks going into Mother's Day with a single product review. And I only spent $11,000 on ads. I didn't do any giveaways. I didn't do anything external from Amazon. And the reason I did all of this is because I wanted to prove you can launch a product without having to game the system. And I did it because I saw the demand and I understand the space. I love the gift category. That's really where my heart is, right? And I like moms. I like babies. I've got 4 kids under 6. Love my dear wife, Emily. She watches most of my podcasts. And so, Norm, I don't know if you generally do a screen share or not, but here's the item in question. If you want to pull that up, if you want to share that, and basically this item here took a lot of effort to get right for the launch. Like we were trying to figure out like the main photo, right? So now I've got 155 5-star review average. The product is done fantastic. If you look at the keyword data behind this item, and you look at it from 2 years ago, the keyword Mother's Day gift was under like 700,000 during the week of Mother's Day. COVID hit and increased it by 100%. So 100% growth. Everybody's like, yeah, COVID bump. I get it, right? Well, then this year hit and it again grew another 85%. So I showed up in a space that was growing exponentially. And that made a massive difference on my product launch, right? And this wasn't pure luck. Like we selected the time frame to launch this item. We looked at the data, we understood the product, and we built a kit around it. So understanding how to look at the data after you understand the product will set you up for that kind of success. Now, some categories are over inundated, and this will never be possible, right? So if you're launching in the same item that's been done 100 times, a Me Too product, and you don't offer anything new, this is impossible to do.
Right.
But if you select a niche item that is on the up and up, people are looking for it, you can add value, you're doing something unique, you're going to be positioned well to do so. And then after you've done all of these things, you've selected the right product, you've demonstrated the competition, that's when we can start talking about how to launch, how to actually go to market with it.
You were talking about you like gift products, and I'm wondering how you use the word gift in your title or in your bullets.
very carefully, right? So hidden suppressions come a lot of issues with certain keywords like gift. So I was one of the first to market, I think about a year and 3 months ago, when they came out with the suppressions on titles. And so I spent 6 hours on a Friday night trying to figure out like why 50 of my listings were suppressed. And I basically had to make 50 A/B tests to figure it out. And lo and behold, after spending 8 hours trying to figure this out, 6 hours trying to figure this out, I found out it was the word gift, and I had to write around that everything. Well, in the gift category, 75% of the impressions are related to the gifting action. So having the word gift removed from the title was devastating, right, for the market. And so, you could take this random beer glass in my hand here, right? So I sell these. This is the
Kind of early, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol. I just happen to sell beer in wine glasses. I know it's weird. And maybe that's how you're going to cure that cough though. So a little bit of alcohol, maybe some cough syrup. In any case, you totally threw me for a loop. Now, what was my train of thought?
Gifts.
Gifts.
So we're trying to work gifts or work around the word gifts on a listing.
So you can get around it in PPC, no problem, right? But in the copy and the title, you have to be very careful, because when you get a hidden suppression, this is when the item does not show up in the search results, and sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes Amazon won't even tell you, right? The way to diagnose this is to type in the ASIN into the search box. Yeah. And then if it doesn't come up, you're suppressed. Many of the tools still don't have a way to detect a hidden suppression. But I've talked to a few of the developers and I said, here's what you need to build. But in any case, so some things still are a little bit manual. And so you just got to work around it. You got to rebuild the copy and you got to be creative, right? You can't just say present instead of gifts. That's not going to help you. So you have to, think of things like for him and her or stuff like that.
Okay. So, because that's something that comes up quite often, and it's tough to get around the word gift. Like, what about your impressions? Do you show in your impressions that it's giftable, like it's in a stocking, or I don't know. It might be. Yep. Go ahead.
It's not necessary. Do I recommend it? Yes. Because if you build out the Christmas brand store this year for your Q4 strategy, is that an offensive or a defensive play? I would say it's probably defensive, right? You're not going to acquire new customers by decorating your brand store, but you probably will convert a little bit more on the customers you already have. So that's why I think it's a defensive play. So same thing with your secondary images. You want to go the extra mile, put a little Christmas angle on it, by all means, go ahead. But I think that this is such a small tactic compared to supply chain, compared to advertising spend and segmentation, that it's minuscule in comparison. So it should be way lower on the list. And so like for some of my larger clients, we talk more about inventory management than we talk about marketing, because it has such a bigger impact, way more important. So specifically, if you go out of stock on December 2nd and you miss out on that 20-day run rate going into Christmas, that's going to have way bigger impact on your business if you didn't, versus having a secondary image that converts a 0.5 percentage point better because you put it in a stocking, right? So make sure that you guys have a lot of inventory controls set up, right? Like we've seen restock limitations, they're not going away. Now, the nice thing is on a product launch, you don't have that 200 count SKU limit per se going on anymore. But the overall restock limits are still prohibiting you from sending in 400 or 500. You just don't have the room to spare with most restock limitations. It seems like it's getting worse right now, not better, based on the reports that I've seen as well. My personal bearish forecast on inventory and supply chain is that we're 2 years away from returning to normal. Nobody wants to hear that, but that's what I think.
It might even be longer. Who knows? Who knows right now? It's so crazy. I would have thought by now we would be back to normal, and we'd be able to put as much inventory as we wanted in. But anyways, we'll see what happens in 2 years. See if you're a mind reader or a futurist.
A year ago, I coined that just-in-time supply chain management was dead. I said that a year ago. I still feel that way. And I think everybody needs to have a year's supply of inventory on hand. But not to go down too far on the inventory rabbit hole, we can kind of migrate over to PPC strategy or main photo if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about, because even if I take a look at what you presented, I do have some questions about that too. But let's talk about the main photo. So how do you not set up for failure?
So go ahead and bring up the main photo again if you want. So this is the third iteration of the item. And notice how it's really clean. There's no, I don't even know what you call the paper mache in there. But notice how that all of the items are neatly on top of it. Right now, the challenge that I had on this is that I had a card and I have multiple items in the kit. How do I best demonstrate what's in this item going in to get the click-through rate that we need from the search results, right? And so I looked at multiple variations of how we could demonstrate this product, and it was very difficult to get right? Like very, very difficult to show like every single thing in here. This is the third iteration. We had to run some pick food tests to test what we currently had against the competition. And so if you guys haven't run a pick food test before on your main photo, I highly encourage it. Here's 2 or 3 things that I've learned from main photos. You don't need to run a test to figure this out. Number 1, you need to show everything that's included with your item. Now that may sound like common sense, but a lot of times people have like cursory accessories, right? So like we had a client that sold like a handmade blender, but they didn't show the USB port or the cord that came with it. That won 70% to 30% in the pick food test. People really wanted to see the accessory in the main image before they even got to the listing. It was a value add. It told them a lot about the item before they even showed up to the listing. So that's the first thing I recommend. Make sure you show everything that's included in the main image. Now, you can't do emojis and the 2-pack things. Like you can't do that in main images anymore and get in trouble. You'll get in trouble with that. You might get suppressions. But you can show the item next to the packaging, right? So if you show the item just in the packaging, you may not be able to showcase everything that you need to showcase to get somebody interested in your product. And similarly, if you only show the item without the packaging, you might have the same problem. So showing both in the main image is often the best course of action. In some categories, a real image is inferior to having an image that has been mocked up. And I think supplements is probably the easiest case example of this, right? So being able to massage that, showboat it a little bit, and make that happen, I highly recommend you testing to see what the audience is interested in. So CTR, you usually don't see a lot of podcast topics around CTR, but it's extraordinarily important. The A9 updates that was done for Amazon's SEO algorithm really calls out that CTR has almost as big of an impact as advertising impressions or advertising sales even. So having a higher click-through rate.
Just for the audience, Stephen, CTR, what is it?
Click-through rate.
Okay,
so
thanks.
So having the click-through rate have above board, above your average of your competitors can make a massive difference. And so, for example, we know that on general that the click-through rate is somewhere between 0.2 and 0.4% on Amazon's PPC. So if you're somewhere in that window, you're probably within the average. But if you're at 0.4 and your competition's at 0.2, your indexing is going to be off the charts. You're going to be able to showcase a lot better and be seen by more people because the algorithm is going to reward you because you're generating interest, you're generating an engagement, right? So all of your typical Google SEO tactics would apply with just the CTR of a main image in mind.
Okay, great. Now, one of the other things with that main image, and going back to the packaging, so we've come up against this where the packaging does not look good. It's phenomenal packaging, but it's awful in a picture. Like the product photographer cannot take a picture of the package because it might have a ripple in it or it's a box.
Yep.
So
mock-up would make sense there.
All right. So I was just going to say 3D rendering. Would you be, for your clients, would you be okay with creating a 3D rendering of the box, or would you just go and touch it up a little bit with Photoshop?
I think a 3D render is going to win 9 out of 10 times.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
All right. So
People do want to see banana for scale. They want to feel the authentic, but on a main image, this is not your goal.
Oh yeah, I've seen fantastic products lose out because that's the box I'm getting. It sucks. Now, the other thing is proportion. So a lot of the times when you put the package in a primary image, it loses, like the package actually takes over from the actual products. So what some of the tricks that we do, and it's not kosher, I don't think. So just be careful if you do this. I think it's beige hat, but I increase the size of the product and have the packaging a bit more in the foreground. So the packaging is actually a bit smaller than the product. So your attention, and it all depends on the packaging, right? But your attention is still on the product, but you can see it comes in really nice, beautiful packaging. What do you think about that?
I 100% would endorse that. I wouldn't even say that's beige. I think that's white. I think the main photo's job is to bring people to the listing, and you're not like it's not false advertising, right? So that's how I look at black and white, right? So like if it's black hat, it's because you're gaming a system and you're falsely trying to trick a system to go in your favor. As an example, two-step URLs or rebates that push in the funnel to increase your indexing. Those would be, at least gray, if not black, right? But they're definitely not white. And so I think a main photo that represents your product in its best light is just purely marketing.
Okay, great. Now, like to the listeners, I want to hear if you've had any product failures and were you able to get through them? Were you able to work through them? And if not, why? Oh, what is this?
This is my sweet heat hot sauce. Okay, so this is my biggest product failure I've ever had. And what sucks about this product is that it was actually a really good product and well done, right? Like I did everything correct except one thing that led to its downfall, right? So I picked a good product. It tastes good. The feedback and the reviews were raving, right? I even did pretty decent on the packaging here. I actually spent $1,500 to get a professionally designed wrap around this bottle, right? Now here's where I went wrong. I paid Amazon to do my my logistics and my what's the word I'm looking for? When I paid Amazon to bubble wrap my stuff, right?
Oh.
So here I'm thinking, okay, Amazon will do my prep work. That was the word I was looking for, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no problem. I'll have my manufacturer make 1,000 of these bottles, ship it into Amazon. Amazon will take it from there, and it'll be all just fine. Well, as you look at this item here, the net weight of the bottle with the sauce inside of it is like 5.5 pounds. It's excessive, right? And I wanted to sell a $20 hot sauce because I wanted to be trendy or whatever, right? Like not the $4 thing you pick up on the aisle 5 of the grocery store. So I do all this work. I ship everything into Amazon, and then I go live and I start launching, and I start, I get the family and friends to place orders to let me know how it is. I'm interested in your feedback. Wasn't trying to game the reviews, just genuinely needed people to buy it and tell me what they thought. And 80% of my items, 80% were shipped and damaged because Amazon put them into a padded envelope. Oh. They shipped my hot sauce. I paid them to do the prep work. And so illogically, if it could fit inside of a bubble wrap container, they went ahead and did it. And I could not believe my eyes. This was barely a year and a half ago, right?
Wow.
Like it's not like I was some Amazon noob launching my first product. Like I had everything figured out. I knew what I was doing, and I still got screwed by the Amazon system, right? And that's kind of the moral of the story, right? Like no matter how good you are at launching products, you're still going to have a few fail. I like to use a ratio of 1 to 3, right? So of 3 products, and my fingers aren't straight, so here we go. We'll try that. I got basketball fingers. So of my 3 products that I launch, 1 will fail, just completely fail, lose money on it. The second will break even, and the third will be the winner. And that third one is going to make up for the problems that you'd have on the other 2. by and large, and you reorder that third one, you go, a mile deep and an inch wide on that particular item.
Well, before we get back to the images, I want to get back to that, but this also has something to do with product failure. And we were doing you brought up that bottle, and it was a great example. We were looking at a bottle and like producing this product, and we went and we bought all the bottles. So the highest priced bottle was $40. The lower end product was about $29 at the time. And it was fairly new, but it came in an absolutely gorgeous package. I bought two of the other competitors, and they came, like you said, in this bubble pack. And it was like, I paid $40 for this, and it comes in, just wrapped in this bubble pack. It looked horrible. Actually, my father got it, and he just said, it looks crappy, Norm. He sent me some pictures. And then what we recommended is that you go out and make sure that you have a package. So when people see it, that was one of the first things that we did to help the client. And by the way, the one that was in gorgeous packaging right now has not only taken over as the leader in this category, but is the top bestseller. They've got more reviews. They've absolutely dominated. And I bet you it's because of the quality of the packaging and reorders.
I feel strongly that as marketers that we don't sell products, even though we're in e-commerce. We sell feelings. Mm-hmm. The feeling of that package made somebody happy, and that's what they bought. They wanted to be complete. And so when people realize that, they will market differently.
Right. Absolutely.
So you mentioned the packaging. So on my latest launch, we focused really hardcore on using a really good package, right? Yeah. And so in here, this item is sold as a set. We got the branding on the package. When somebody opens it up, they get hit with, a bunch of items. I've taken this apart so many times. It's not presented as well as it would be normally, but you can see all the items. They're all pushed in. Everything's in its place. And so, can you imagine trying to take a natural photo of this for a main image? Very, very difficult. So what we had to do is we took some raw images and then spliced the items on top of them. And that's how we came up with our main image, and that's how it worked.
Hey, can you send me some of that so I can maybe use it as a hair transplant or something?
Hey, I'm not too far behind you right now. I think you rock the cue ball very well, sir.
Thank you. All right. And before we get to the images again, you had a giveaway, and I completely forgot to talk.
We're giving away a T-shirt. Yes.
Okay. So that will be the giveaway today. It's going to be hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. If you'd like to, excuse me, get the T-shirt. And that's a My Amazon Guy T-shirt. Is that correct?
It is. It's a My Amazon Guy T-shirt. It's black. We have it in all sizes, and the fabric is super, super soft. I actually physically picked out 10 options and went with the softest, silkiest, smooth T-shirt I could.
And is that for U.S. and Canada or anywhere? U.S. Canada.
Yeah, anybody in U.S. Canada, we'd love to ship you one.
All right, fantastic. And also, Kelsey, can you tell us about the special giveaway we have today?
Of course. So our special giveaway is from Rad. He came out the other day and emailed me asking if he could do a special giveaway to our Beard Nation in memory of his late daughter. So Rad and his family would like to give the gift of solar. So we are giving 2 solar motion butterfly lights away, and that is hashtag gift of solar. So thank you so much, Rad. And this is for US and Canada only. So if you're interested, we have those 3 giveaways in total. But yeah, definitely the information is in the comment section. So I'll post it again, and yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's get back to the images. So we've talked about the primary, what to do. What about the storyboard?
I think it's important that you have all of your things optimized day one and ready to go. So make sure you have 6 photos, a video. Video is super underrated right now. People are starting to pick up on it, but I'm telling you, video is critical, right? So if all you have, if you're not a professional photographer, maybe you don't have a budget, you don't have $1,000 to burn on a video, whatever, grab your cell phone right now and go take a video with your cell phone and load that, at least fill in the bucket, right? Just simply showing up with a video is going to improve your conversion rate a couple of percentage points. It's going to make a difference. Run video ads. I think video ads are extraordinarily important. And we're going to start talking about PPC here very shortly, because having a segmented PPC strategy with everything launched on day one is something that I do that's kind of unique. I think a lot of people don't do enough segmentation with their advertising launches. They just run like an auto campaign, or they run just a manual. And I say run them all and see which ones perform well for your item, and inundate your listing with as much traffic as possible. And if you have all the images there and you set a launch date, you're not launching until your FBA is checked in, right? So in the back end of your Seller Central inventory, you click on the edit button, go to settings, and in there you can see that there's an actual launch date. So make sure you set that to control your honeymoon period. And then when you do that and you go launch with your A+ content already published, your FBA live with inventory, your 6 images filled in, make sure you humanize the product, banana for scale. Make sure that there's at least one photo of a person looking at the camera and smiling, right? All of these things will make it so that when you launch your product, you'll have a good conversion rate. So when you when you buy the traffic, it'll actually make a sale.
I do have one thing about the guy smiling or the lady smiling. If you are getting a stock photo and you have a graphic artist, make sure they're a good graphic artist. If somebody's holding up a bar of soap and it looks like it's 5 times bigger than the person's hand, it's not going to work. The other thing is, a lot of these product photographers now will do hand models. So you'll be able to have somebody, or models. I always like doing a model, if I can afford it. It depends on the photographer, but so it looks genuine. There are other ways of getting those other slots, these lifestyle pictures, and that's even in your insert, have something like tag us, and it could either be for something. Most of the time it's free, and just tag us, and then you can use and repurpose those images onto your Amazon site, or onto your Amazon listing, and then those are real. And people don't want to see stock. I know the lady that I see in every bathtub that for soap, and you just know it's the same Pixified picture that people go and get, or Pixabay picture that people are downloading. But anyways, that's just a little pet peeve.
Placeholders at the very least, to at least have something present when you launch. But once you know the item's a winner, or you got the budget, get your own photography, but you're in for a journey, because it's a little bit more complex. Like shooting pictures of glass that refracts like this, very, very difficult. It actually makes 0 sense for us to do that most of the time. All right, so when you launch your item, we like to run 3 phases of SEO. And in phase 1, your goal is to get 1,000 words indexed in under 30 days. And if you do this correctly, you will show up for as many things as you possibly can to generate interest, buzz, and sales. So one of the ratios I like to use, Kelsey, you're welcome to share the screen here again, is a 1-to-2 ratio on sponsored keywords versus organic. So if, for example, this particular product, I'm in my off season, so I'm underspending on ads, I usually like to see at least a 1-to-2 ratio between sponsored products and organic keywords. That means these are keywords I'm advertising on, and these are keywords that I'm indexed in SEO for. So 3,000 on the organic, 400 on the sponsored products. And we were able to get this product to over 3,000 keywords indexed in under 2 weeks when we launched it, because we used the strategies that we've been talking about today. Have everything optimized day one, show up in a category that's in demand, had some seasonality in my favor. And then what's really cool, though, is that you can see all the keywords that we're in rank position 1 for. So Mom Day, Mother's Day for new mom. The list is very, very long, so I won't read it out. But the idea here is to index for thousands of keywords. And then once you've indexed for those thousands of keywords, you will then work your way through phase 2 and phase 3 of SEO, where eventually you want to get 50 keywords into the strike zone between ranks 20 through 50. And then those words are what you focus on in phase 3 to lift them up to get into the top of search, so that they're in ranks 1 through 10. Here's that mobile video we took, by the way, low budget. And this is just my wife talking over the top. I'll turn on the sound just lightly there. And we just show that the product gets opened up so that the consumer understands what they're getting, right? So just the concept of being able to touch the product and show, like, here's what your experience is going to be like when you get the item, is all we achieved with this video. That was it. And that's going to be very, very important. So we've got 6 photos. Obviously, we're using a couple of stock photos because they turned out better than the raw ones we took. We then have raw photos like this that we superimposed and made beautiful with some graphic editing. And then we have our natural lifestyle shot that, you know, it's okay. It was the best of the lot.
People like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just kind of showcases like, hey, use this in your bathroom, give it away. All right. So kind of leaving the page optimization angle and diving straight into PPC now. I think it's extraordinarily important that you build an ad campaign for every targeting methodology available. Sponsored products, sponsored brands, video, display, category targeting, ASIN targeting, automatic, all of them, every single one of them. Every product is different. Some of those items are going to do well with video ads. Like this item crushes it with video ads, but it's terrible for display, right? Like my item, I spent $2,000 on display ads in my first 2 weeks and I had generated 2 units in sales. That was it. I was blown away. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I did wine glasses all the time at 45 cents a bid and 25% ACOS. Like, why is my kit not working on display? I didn't want to give up on it. I kept trying to optimize it, but still after $2,000 and spend 2 unit sales was all I got out of it. So I turned it off eventually and it doesn't work. But if we hadn't have tested that, we wouldn't know, right? Like, so you got to build out every single PPC segmentation for your products when you launch them on day one. They need to be ready when you launch. You should have an idea of your top 2 or 3 keywords that you think are going to be good in a sponsored product manual campaign. And on top of that, build the auto and negate the words that don't work, right? Like number one mistake people make when they run auto campaigns is they forget to negate stuff, right? So back on my glass thing here, if I was selling this glass and I didn't negate the word unbreakable or plastic or acrylic, I'm wasting money on those sort of things. So you got to optimize and keep making changes. And you know, we made 3 main photo swaps in 2 weeks. To give you some perspective, we made a lot of changes until we got comfortable with it.
Now, you're talking about trying to figure out the main keywords that could convert. Now, are you using any tools? Like I know Sellers Tools has a module where you can see how many sales. It doesn't go by search volume, but it goes by sales per day that you can expect or sales per month. And I find that tool is like I use Helium 10 all the time, but I use Sellers Tools to confirm that those are the keywords that I should be converting for.
Yeah, they're running some estimates based on conversion rate and impression counts for the category. I think that there's a lot of good up and coming tools, and I think Seller Tools is one of them for sure. Zon Tools is another one. One thing that Zon Tools does, Zon Guru, there's
so many zones.
Yeah, I know. They can see the back end search terms of your competitor listings. So if you just want to flat out rip what your competitor is doing, you can now. Obviously, you shouldn't. You should make improvements, but nonetheless, you can. So there's just a lot of tools out there that are up and coming. The space has been very commoditized with procedural tools, which is why running with your gut and making analytical decisions based on what you know, not based on what the data says, is starting to be a little bit more, works a little bit more often than it doesn't these days.
I think I know the answer to this next question. We've kind of touched on it. I've seen people not launch or they're worried about launch because of reviews. Do you have to have a ton of reviews to expect results?
Nope. You don't even need to run Vine. Don't need a early reviewer program. Don't need to run an email automated campaign. Amazon has made it so freaking hard to generate reviews. Everybody's in the same boat. Don't worry about it. It's not one of the core 4 things. There are 4 things that you need to worry about when you sell products on Amazon. SEO, PPC. Those are the 2 things that generate traffic. And then third, you need your catalog in a good shape with all the things merchandised. And 4th, design. You do those 4 things, you will grow sales on Amazon. Notice how review counts was not part of that. The Age of Sage product that I launched had a single product review, did not get its second review until like literally on Mother's Day or thereabouts. And I generated $135,000 in gross unit sales on this kit and item with no gamification, no black hat tactics, no external traffic, nothing. And I did it to prove you can launch an item with basically no reviews.
And that was within the last 2 years, you said?
This was May. This was
wow.
last Mother's Day.
Even better.
Yeah. Yeah. So and part of what the cool part of that narrative in that story is that there was almost a 2x bump over COVID, right? So this was when, you know, everybody looks at their P&Ls and they look at that May to June timeframe as basically the best 2 months of any business ever, right? And on top of those sort of numbers, the growth is still happening right now. So a lot of people are like freaked out about all the maturity phase of Amazon. Should I sell my business? I'm super worried about, you know, all these aggregators showing up, and there's $1.2 billion of people coming in and making it harder, and PPC costs are up 30%. All of these, by the way, are barriers to entry. But because you're already in the system, your brand is now more valuable, and it's never been a better time to double down and grow your brand. I'm very bullish on growing Amazon brands because of what we've seen. It's still possible to launch new items. It's still possible to expand and grow your brand. Is it harder? 100%. Yes, absolutely. It's not hashtag passive income, right? I like to make fun of that hashtag at least once a week. But it's definitely requires a more level of sophistication, but it's absolutely worth it. Norm, do we want to get to any of these questions in the chat?
Yeah,
here?
that's what I was just going to ask Kelsey to do.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. We have one from Aways. I'm going to launch an item. Item has constant demand. Only issue is everyone is selling different designs and all designs are selling good. Should I opt for the new design or copy my competitor's item?
If you think you can make a better design, then I would go that route, but it's probably safer to copy one of the other designs and try and add an accessory, add an additional value add, or build a community, right? You could sell an inferior item, but build a community and have a bigger presence, because if you build a community, you're basically selling the community instead of the item. So what do I mean by that? Have you know, like if I was going to sell Russian mail order brides, which is my most ridiculous metaphor I use, the audience that I would build for that particular product would be content that help 3-time divorced truck drivers. So what's it like to be on the road? How do I groom my beard for the first time in years, or whatever, you know, just a long list of things that somebody would need to do. And if you build a community, they have product loyalty before you even sell the item.
Okay, great. From Joris, not having HTML is one of his biggest struggles. I also heard all caps in the bullets is not okay anymore. Is this true?
That's true in most categories at this point, but many categories, including the gift category, we can get away with all caps still. Anything medical, ingestible, generally you want to avoid that nowadays. HTML is prohibited, except you can still do break lines in your product description.
Okay, from Tony, not really related to product research, but do you do keyword isolation within ad
100%, 100%. This is extraordinarily important. The moment you know a keyword works for you, you should have it its own category, its own campaign rather. And that might be a broad match, that might be an exact match, it might be both. A lot of people don't realize that broad match is performing better than exact because everybody and their dogs is spending higher bids on exact match. So the broad gets away with a lower bid and gets some of the niche terms.
Okay, next, let's see, we have a couple more. Do you have any recommendations for reliable photo services?
Yeah, there's 2 that I like. I like POW Photography out of Chicago, and another one that I also use is Fast Photography. Let me see if I can find them on my website. So they are fastproductphotographyservice.com. Both of them are solid. We've never had a complaint from either one.
Okay, great. I'll add that into the comment sections for you guys. Let me see, from Red, is it better to take pictures and videos in China by the manufacturer or do it after receiving the product in hand?
That's a great question. It depends on it. This is a cost benefit analysis, right? So can the Chinese do a lifestyle shot as well as we can in the States? Probably not. Can they get you at least the main photo to launch the product? Probably better than you can. Yes. And so that's generally something I would recommend if they can get you some basic photos, but I wouldn't do lifestyle over in China though.
Okay, great. From Mohammed, hello, I have a question related to PPC that why we run an auto campaign. The short answer is to get keywords, but I'm a little bit confused that then why do we do keyword research?
Because an auto campaign is using the text and the context and the syntax of your listing. It's inferior to what you can do on your own. If you take the 10 top ASINs of your competitors and look at a keyword analysis and basically said, okay, these 40 keywords are in the top 10 keyword rankings on all 10 competitor ASINs, then you know that those 40 keywords are the most important 40 keywords, regardless of what anything else says. So that data is superior. But an auto campaign is going to find things that are trending, things that you wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to. For example, what if there's a holiday celebration that you just didn't even know existed, but it's very super niche and it only shows up randomly during the year and it has nothing to do with the date, right? These sort of things, all of a sudden, an auto campaign picks up on that trend and puts your product in front of that particular consumer. Auto campaigns will allow you to, in perpetuity, permanently, have access to new keywords. It will continuously find things that you're not paying attention to. Keep negating things on the auto campaign to keep the ACOS in check, but it's not uncommon to have an auto campaign outperform a manual today. So the robots are getting better.
Okay, awesome. From Caring Family, Stephen is an awesome guest, personable and super
Thank you.
smart. Norm, thanks for having him on again.
I appreciate it. We'd love coming on with Norm. Norm, you're on mute. Still on mute, Norm.
Oh, still on mute. Norm, you're on mute, Norm.
I was saying, thank you, Caring Family, and thank you for sending me those $20 to put that up.
All right, we'll just do a couple more questions and then get to the wheel. Tony, I saw an awesome design of a wood tray on Pinterest, but it hasn't appeared on Amazon yet. How can I know that it could have a decent demand when selling on Amazon?
This is a very tough question. I might kick this one to Norm here in a second. But I would say when it comes to furniture and designs, it is very difficult to know what's going to work and what's not going to work. I've got a furniture client who has launched probably 100 SKUs with us over the last 3 years. And even they still can't consistently get the right item that they think is going to work and win. Certain colors are trendy. Sometimes designs come and go. And other times it's, if you show up and you're unique. So like my Age of Sage product, right? I was the only person that had a pink tumbler in a kit. All of my competitors, they had teal. So this pink tumbler here was an awful color compared to the norm, but because it was the only one, I ended up winning anybody that liked pink. So there's logic on both sides of that question, dependingly. The other thing that you could do is you could run a pick food test on your Pinterest competitor design against who you think is the best seller on Amazon and see what the community says.
Yeah. The other thing when you're doing your keyword research, check out like what type of wood. If this is a wood tray, if bamboo is oversaturated, maybe try another type of wood. And also, can you improve on the tray? Is there anything that you can, it's a tray that we're talking about, right? I think. So if it's a typical bamboo tray, maybe you can do something that's a little bit different.
Size, shape.
Yeah, size, shape, what people like, what is like what Tim was talking about. Well, I don't know if it was on Project X, but in the Centurion League, he was talking about just switching up the size. And okay, everybody was the most search volume was for a 12-inch, but a 12-inch tray really wasn't showing when you type in wooden tray. So there's different ways to take advantage of something like that. But the type of wood, product innovation, if there's anything whatsoever, and then the accessories, the add-on. Can you provide a serviette holder, the little rings, something different that'll make you stand out from your competitors?
Awesome. And we'll just do 2 more questions and then we'll wrap it up. So does leaving the HTML in the description on the detail page while having an EBC on the page can hurt the index and the ranking of the product?
I don't think it will hurt it. I think I would probably get rid of the HTML codes that they've prohibited. It's really weird. Some categories are displaying both the product description and the EBC, and others are not. And it used to be that only vendor central items curated by the Amazon catalog team would show both. And now we're starting to see a lot of categories show both. So I would take the product description seriously, and I would look at it as another SEO opportunity. Amazon claims they don't index product descriptions and A+ content, but they totally do. And so we know this, and anybody listening to this, if you don't believe me, go test this yourself. Take 5 minutes. Go put Spanish keywords behind one photo that you currently don't index for. And then within 48 hours, I bet you one of these beer glasses, it will index for Spanish.
So are you talking about the alt text?
The alt text of an A+ content photo. You can put it in the copy as well, but the point is that they index it so much they even index the alt text of a photo. That's the point, right? And you wouldn't put Spanish on the front end. So, but if you put Spanish on the back end photo, it's a case in point proof.
So this is another question. When you're uploading your photos, are you creating alt text for each one of your photos?
There is a rumor that the name of your photo does have an impact. We do know that it translates in like a WordPress or Google into your alt title. It does not necessarily do that in a provable public way on Amazon, but a lot of people theorize that it has some benefits. So I do tell my graphic designers to not just name them photo 1 and 2.
Absolutely. We never do that. We always put a keyword associated with, well, the first one's always the ASIN, and then the second one is the keyword. Sometimes we'll mix it up with ASIN and keyword.
And then I think that'll help maybe in the Google SERP as well. When somebody types in an ASIN or a product search term, the photo can show up as well.
Right. How are we doing, Kels?
Okay, our last question. Hi Norm, kindly could you please ask Steven to let us know whether he has any Amazon courses available and maybe share some details about it. Thanks, from Theo.
So I do not sell any coursework. I'm an agency. We have 160 active full service clients, 83 employees as of time of today. And what you can do to get all of our trade secrets, because one of our 3 unique things that we do at My Amazon Guys, we share all of our trade secrets. Check us out on youtube.com/myamazonguy. And this is where we have all of our best stuff. And I have playlists up the wazoo, PPC, SEO, you name it. One of the best sourcing videos on the internet was when Norm came onto our podcast and talked about the sourcing secrets. It was such a good video. I ended up advertising it. So it's our number 74 podcast. So if you want to go watch that one after today's session, you won't go wrong. Really, really awesome secrets coming out from Norm there. So yeah, that's how we give away our knowledge. And you know, I'll make one more plug here. If anybody's looking for a job, we also hire like crazy. We're always looking for people that have 1 or 2 years of Seller Central experience, international as well as domestically, for management of accounts, PPC, SEO design, and catalog management, all of those things. We just hit our 10,000 subscribers, by the way. That just happened.
Very good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it. Oh, there is one quick question. How long does it take before PPC kicks in?
Almost instantaneous. Yeah, it's like 15 minutes in many instances. The only time it would not kick in is if the impressions are bugged because they aren't relevant. If Amazon thinks your product's not relevant, could be because you don't have a copy. You don't have the keyword in the copy. So try and get the copy massaged with keywords in mind.
Very good.
All right, so I think it's time for the wheel.
That's
Here
that time.
we go, everyone.
It's time for the Wheel of
Jeez, that was loud.
Yeah.
It is loud. Yeah, that was especially loud today. I don't know what happened with that. But okay, so if you're the winner, this will be Rad's giveaway, so the hashtag gift of solar. So we're going to do 2 spins for this. If you're the winner, please email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com. I'll shuffle everyone up, and here we go. We are working on a little theme song as this spins too, so it's not so dead air. Okay, Wonderful Life is the first one. Congratulations. And number 2.
We didn't see it spin.
Oh, I think it's a glitch. It's probably just not caught up yet.
Kelsey, get on your job.
Even
You press a button. The wheel's supposed to spin.
complicated, okay? All right, so this is for Steven's shirt.
Oh, it's going fast now.
There we go. He's doing his job.
Okay, so Abu
Congrats.
wins the shirt.
So how do they claim it, Kels?
So email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com, and we'll do one more wheel. This is for Rad's giveaway. We have one more to give away. Just give me a second to pull it up here.
Are you going to show us?
Yep, just working on
Oh my
it.
God. He's not gonna-
Norm's impatience is just gone.
I
out.
know. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
Jason,
Jason.
snuck in
Very
there.
good.
So, Jason, you're the winner of the gift of solar along with Wonderful Life. So email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com and I'll get that over to you.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
Steven?
Norm, you have one of the best Lunch with Norm podcasts ever. Big fan. Anybody knows that already, but just by watching one or two of your episodes, though. So I don't even have to tell them.
Oh, well, thank you. Coming from you, I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, Steven, until you come on next time, I really appreciate you coming on, dropping all that knowledge, and yeah, just appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it too, Norm.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you.
Okay, everybody. So I think that's about it. The next episode is actually, I thought Bradley was next week, but Bradley Sutton from Helium 10 is going to be coming on, I think it's Friday, and we're going to be talking about product launch and opportunities for 2021. So it's perfectly timed after Steven's podcast today. Now, I do want to just give a quick thank you to our new sponsor. This is Hrefs. And with the Lunch with Norm podcast, that an e-commerce website is crucial for the rise of the micro brands, especially in 2021. But how do Amazon sellers like us find the time to focus on website SEO scores and ranking and keywords? Href is here to help. Monitor your SEO health, backlinks, and keywords for free. That's it, free with the help of Href Webmaster Tools. That's right, you can sit back, relax, and enjoy Lunch with Norm with the help of Href. Seriously, it's absolutely free for your website, not even a credit card. So go to hrefs.com, AWT. That's ahrefs.com/AWT. Now, I have to say, I just did this with another one of our websites, and the report that you get is absolutely incredible. So if you've got a website, and this is, forget the sponsorship. If you've got a website, check it out, because it'll tell you right off the bat, you'll get a full PDF report of the tweaks that you need to make to improve your SEO. So check that out at hrefs.com/AWT. All right, Kelsey, where are you?
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please just smash those like buttons. That's really appreciated. So yeah, next episode is going to be a big one with Bradley Sutton. We're super excited about that. Yep. Yeah, if you haven't yet, smash those like buttons. Join our Facebook community. That is the Lunch with Norm Amazon FBA and eCommerce Collective. Let me see. If you've missed today's episode, if you're just catching it now, you can go over to our YouTube channel, Norman Farrar, and you'll be able to find our whole catalog. I believe this is episode 177, something like that. So got tons of content out there for you guys. And I just posted Stephen and Norm's episode with Stephen Pope too. So go over there, check that out. And let me see, if you're looking for a little more of the beard, check out our Patreon. That is our paid membership program. You can do full
Thank you,
Q&As.
Caring Family. She or he, the person behind Caring Family, just smashed the like button.
Awesome. So yeah, if you're interested in guest lessons, Q&A sessions with me and Norm, go over to our website, lunchwithnorm.com, and click on the membership, and that'll give you all the information you need about that. But I think that's it from me. Go ahead, smash those like buttons, and yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Alrighty.
So tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I almost said Central Time. And like every podcast, we just want to end it with thanking our community. We really appreciate you tuning in. We couldn't do this without you. And the growth that we've had and the community and the engagement, I mean, we love it. So keep it up. We'll keep giving you the content. You keep engaging, and I promise it'll be better all the time. So until next time, have a great day.
Lunch with Norm.